Windshield's a goner. Yeah, the whole front end is toast. Let's check the engine.
Now I am attaching a heavy-duty winch cable to the front tow hook of the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus to pull it toward the transport truck.
Now I am loading the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus onto a flatbed truck using a winch, carefully guiding it up the ramp.
Now I am unloading the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus inside the garage and positioning it for the restoration process.
Now I am doing a full visual inspection of the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus before starting the disassembly process.
Now I am unbolting and removing the hood of the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus to access the engine completely. Now I am removing the headlights from the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus, loosening corroded screws slowly.
Transcription. Now I am disconnecting and removing the radiator and cooling fans from the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus. Transcription. Now I am disconnecting and removing the radiator and cooling fans from the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus.
Transcription. Now I am securing the removed engine of the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus onto an engine stand for teardown.
Now I am removing the drive shaft from the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus after loosening rusted bolts. Now I am removing the front suspension components of the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus one by one.
Now I am removing the brake calipers and discs from the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus. Now I am lowering and removing the rear axle of the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus. Now I am removing the complete exhaust system from the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus. Now I am removing the front and rear seats from the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus interior.
Now I am carefully removing the dashboard of the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus and labeling all wiring.
Now I am removing the interior carpet and insulation from the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus.
Now I am removing the doors of the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus to strip the body completely. Now I am revealing the fully stripped chassis of the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus after complete disassembly.
Now I am loosening the rusted lug nuts and removing the tire and wheel from the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus using steady, controlled movements.
Transcription. Now I am removing the rusted wheel hub from the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus to inspect bearings.
Now I am extracting the seized wheel bearing from the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus hub.
Now I am removing the steering knuckle from the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus suspension assembly. Now I am removing the front shock absorber of the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus.
Now I am safely removing the coil spring from the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus suspension.
Now I am lowering and removing the fuel tank from the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus.
Now I am disconnecting the fuel lines of the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus, carefully to avoid damage.
Now I am removing and labeling the main wiring harness of the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus. Now I am removing the cracked windshield from the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus.
Now I am inspecting the bare body shell of the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus, before rust repair and welding.
Now I am marking the rusted sections of the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus body shell to prepare for cutting and welding.
Now I am cleaning and preparing the weld edges on the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus body shell.
Now I am fabricating a replacement metal patch for the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus rusted floor section. Now I am test fitting the metal patch into the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus body shell before welding.
Now I am tack welding the metal patch into the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus body shell.
Now I am grinding the welded seam smooth on the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus body shell.
Now I am positioning the restored chassis of the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus to begin the reassembly process. Now I am installing the front and rear subframes onto the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus chassis.
Now I am installing the rear axle and suspension assembly of the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus.
Now I am reinstalling the front suspension and steering components on the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus. Now I am installing the complete brake system on the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus, including discs, calipers, and brake lines. Now I am carefully lowering the engine into the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus using a crane. Now I am aligning and tightening the engine mounts of the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus.
Now I am installing the gearbox onto the engine of the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus.
Now I am connecting the drive shafts and differentials of the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus. Now I am installing the cooling system of the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus, including radiator and hoses. Now I am installing the fuel tank, fuel lines, and fuel pump on the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus.
Now I am installing the complete exhaust system of the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus.
Now I am reconnecting the wiring harness and installing the ECU on the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus.
Now I am installing the windshield and aligning all doors on the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus.
Now I am starting the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus for the first time after reassembly. Now I am filling engine oil, coolant, transmission fluid, and power steering fluid in the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus. Now I am letting the engine idle as the pulse of light matches its rhythm in the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus.
Now I am inspecting the primered body of the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus, before applying the black paint. Now I am completing the final inspection and preparing the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus for road readiness. Now I am revealing the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus as the lights pulse across its newly painted black body.
Now I am powering the interior systems as the cabin pulses with life in the Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus.
Now I am revealing the fully painted Mercedes AMG G800 Brabus in deep gloss black.